Number 1. Hisashi Ouchi. If there's one guy who probably wished science class taught "don't mess with uranium," it was Hisashi Ouchi. Back in 1999, he was standing a little too close when workers decided to pour the wrong kind of uranium into a giant tank. Spoiler: the tank went critical and blew up. Ouchi ended up receiving 3 times the lethal dose of radiation. Normally, that's the type of thing that kills you within hours. But doctors decided, nah, let's keep this guy alive. And so, he spent 87 excruciating days in the hospital with his skin literally falling off, constant organ failure, and heart attacks that just kept coming. He even begged to be let go, but the doctors refused. His suffering only ended when he died after 3 back-to-back heart attacks. Yeah, Hisashi definitely had an ouchie. Number 2. Johan de Witt. If you thought politics was brutal now, wait until you hear about Johan de Witt, a Dutch statesman in the 1600s. Things started going downhill when the economy tanked, and his army kept losing battles. So naturally, an angry mob dragged Johan and his brother out into the streets. First, they were beaten. Then they were shot in the neck. Somehow, they survived that, only to be lynched, cut apart, and eaten. Yep. People literally cooked and ate them. The only things left were a tongue and a finger, which you can still see today in a Dutch museum. Imagine going on a field trip and seeing your ancestors' leftovers on display. Number 3. The Blood Eagle. The Vikings had a little ritual execution called the Blood Eagle. Sounds metal, right? Here's how it worked. They sliced open your back, snapped your ribs open to look like wings, and then pulled your lungs out and draped them across your shoulders. The worst part? Victims were usually alive during the whole thing. And if you screamed, congratulations, you weren't even worthy of Valhalla. Nothing says honor like being turned into a grotesque human chicken wing. Number 4. John Houghton's execution. England in the 1500s wasn't exactly handing out quick and painless deaths. John Houghton, a monk, was executed for refusing to recognize King Henry VIII as the head of the church. His punishment? Being half-hanged until he almost passed out, castrated, cut open, and then having his organs ripped out one by one while he was still alive. They even showed him each organ before tossing it aside, like some twisted biology class. When he finally died, his head was put on display and his body was chopped into quarters. Gotta love that English hospitality. Number 5. Gordon Moffat. Sometimes death comes not from a brutal king, but from your safety harness. Gordon Moffat was working on an oil rig when his harness cable started pulling him upward. Unfortunately, the path ended with a pipe just a few inches wide. The cable dragged him straight through it, breaking most of his bones and crushing him in the process. He eventually suffocated from the insane pressure on his chest. The company responsible was fined just $60,000. That's how much his life was worth to a megacorporation. Number 6. The most horrific workplace accident ever. The Byford Dolphin diving bell disaster in 1983. Divers were inside a decompression chamber when miscommunication caused it to open too soon. One diver standing near the hatch was sucked through a hole smaller than his body in less than a second. Only tiny pieces of him were left. The others inside weren't any luckier. Their blood instantly filled with gas bubbles, basically boiling them alive from the inside out. It was one of the most gruesome accidents in oil rig history, and it still haunts the industry to this day.